Obviously, the city attorney has said we can run both campaigns separately, but if we do that, the signatures that we collect do not need to be combined at the meeting. So that was a clear signal to us that we needed to bring both campaigns together in order for the citizenry of San Diego to be able to have its say. You're looking at the 3 co-chairs of the recall, 2 of whom have been actively involved from the beginning, and 1 of whom, who happens to be me, just got involved in the process. And we are all united to let the citizens decide. So next, it'll be Mike.
Thank you, Sam. Stamp and I met, as you know, and we have some wonderful ideas on how to implement this recall, and we're very excited about this. We have one unifying goal here, and that is to exercise the will of the people. That is our common goal and objective. And we're also standing here to represent the 8 women and maybe many more who have been harassed. We stand here as a community, and we're all joined in a sense of high standard. We want to work to set a standard for this city and this community, and we're joined in our efforts, and we're looking forward to our combined resources. And for a way of clarification, Stan, if I may, we both agreed to adopt the statement that we initiated because it's more comprehensive. And our goal for that legal statement is for Mr. Filner to respond to us. He has, I think, maybe 10 days to come back to us and respond to the reasons we feel should be recalled. So we're here united, and we're looking forward to this whole endeavor. Lisa?
This recall is not about the people standing here at this podium. It's about Bob Filner, total unacceptable behavior. He has disrespected and abused women. It is so offensive that he is clearly unfit for public office. This recall is the only remedy. We in the public have to address this problem. One recall effort is imperative for us to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Let's recall Mayor Filner.
Questions?
You're giving Mayor Filner another opportunity to resign before you go forward? Talk about that right away. One more opportunity.
No. Let's clarify that. No, it's not going to resign. We're trying to tell everyone we're unified here to recall him. We all say that unanimously. Recall.
Correct. And
Recall.
so what
Well,
it
when you
actually
said, if I
means
may, you said, we're still going forward with our original statement, which was
yes, so
the ultimatum.
August 18th, on August 18th, people of San Diego will be able to have a voice. What he was talking about was we both published 2 separate petitions in the UT. Mine simply said accusation of sexual harassment by a city woman. Mike's says, Mike is saying significantly more things, which include what I said. So we had to decide which petition to go forward. We agreed, while mine around the sexual harassment was a little bit more firm, we could agree that we go forward with Mike and on the statement as the actual petition.
And let me clarify that. We have, Stan had a rather brief reason for recall. We have a very elaborate set of reasons that have been published. The significance of that is we agreed that for purposes of recall, the community will sign this statement. And we have 2 objectives. We want the mayor to respond to this statement, and we also want to use this to set the bar so that everyone understands why he's being recalled. It's for these reasons, all of these reasons, which includes this.
Give us some of those reasons on camera and look forward here, but give us a couple of the reasons that you have on the sheet.
You're going to make me go for my glasses.
You can borrow mine, I got
Okay, I'll defer to Melissa.
Reasons to recall Mayor Filner. Mayor Filner has engaged in a corrupt pay-for-play process involving a $100,000 payout. Mayor Filner has used police officers overseas for his personal security team at taxpayer expense. Mayor Filner has repeatedly ignored city council votes and moved in a direction contrary to their wishes. Mayor Filner has violated his oath of office. Mayor Filner is divisive and disruptive. Mayor Filner has used executive powers to punish the city attorney by slashing the attorney's budget. Mayor Filner has created chaos and a hostile environment since taking office. Mayor Filner withheld tourism marketing funds to the point of negatively impacting the city's ability to attract tourists. Mayor Filner has been derelict in his duty to maintain the dignity of his elected office.
There's a couple more.
A lot more.
There's
There's a lot more. And that will be
yeah,
made
Jane, it should be Jane.
Get on the ballot.
and we get on the ballot without using the paid signature ballot. The answer to that question seems to be as when Mike and I had coffee, we talked about our differences around that, and I've spoken vehemently around that issue because my community was negatively impacted in terms of our civil rights because of paid signature ballot. But the reality is that I have a strategy, and so does Mike and Lisa. And we're going to bring those two strategies together. My strategy says the people of San Diego want to speak, and they will step forward regardless of whether their paid signature ballot is or not. Mike has a different strategy. Our two strategies are not in conflict because we're not talking about civil rights. We're talking about saving the city of San Diego.
Well, hold on. Yeah, give me remember I did this 22 years ago. I ran the only recall here in San Diego, and that was directly because of Mr. Filner. And so what I found, you get a lot of volunteers, it's a lot of energy, but hardworking people, men and women, work every day, and they can't be there at 3:30 on a Tuesday in front of a Walmart. So as any initiative proceeds, there are paid signature gatherers. And the important thing about that, and this needs to be heard loud and clear, I spoke with a business owner in El Cajon this morning, and he said, what is going on over there? His business would be an impact. People in National City, in Chula Vista, in Encinitas, in El Cajon, they don't live here, but they have a business here. They cannot sign the petition. What they can do is to send us money, which allows us to hire the paid signature gatherers. Every voice that needs to be heard here. And the cost of that effort is going to be a direct reflection on how many volunteers we get. But I'm encouraging people to send us money so that we can proceed.
Can I just say that if we do not win this campaign to recall Mayor Filner, that he will have more power. We need to ensure that he's going to be out by having those petition gathering companies with us. It's not going to be just the people on the street that are volunteering or giving up their free time. It's going to be people that are going to be paid because that's the only way we can guarantee enough signatures. We cannot lose on this. There is no incentive whatsoever.
And there's one other thing I want to add. 7 of the 9 city council people have stepped forward and said they want to. Each one of them has an organization that helped them get elected. So I would hope that they would engage their organization to collect signatures. If you believe you want the mayor to resign, then engage all of the people that helped elect you. You had volunteers who have walked the streets of your districts. You're calling for the recall. Engage those volunteers to walk the streets of the districts again. Those people are listening to you, and you've made your voice heard. I had also said Jerry Sanders and the Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Economic Development Corporation, they called for the resignation of the mayor. Engage those businesses and those employees of those businesses in the recall process. That will minimize the amount of paid signature gathering. In fact, I think and I believe that if the city wants this to happen, we may not have to hire one, but we will see what happens.
No, we didn't have a fundraiser. Yes, ma'am. Well, we're waiting for Mayor Filner to respond. For those of you unfamiliar with the process, the legal process is proceeding, and the next step is Mayor Filner has to respond to the statement. He's asked him to respond, but he doesn't respond. But we need to get his response to what we've set forth. And then from there, we have to republish it. We have to go back to the newspaper general circulation. So that's the next step. And we can't do anything until that proceeds. And then once we have that, once it's in circulation, and then we've got another period, we can go forward to the formal petition process. But we can't make the petition. We can't be creating it because a necessary component of Mayor Filner's response. So we have to wait. We have to sit idly by, if you will, until that continues proceeding. But in the meantime, everyone out there, send us a check, send us some money so we can make this happen.
What if he doesn't
We have a
respond?
united front here. We are going to get him recalled.
What if he doesn't respond?
Go ahead. Mr. Dan, have you actually what's the technical The question is, have I withdrawn my petition? Before I do that, I want to make sure that everything is appropriately done based upon counsel from the city attorney's office to make sure that I don't create any unforeseen problem. But we are going forward with the petition that Michael and Lisa filed, as opposed to the one that I filed 2 days later. As I've said in the whole process, I just want to get this started so the people of San Diego
What if the mayor doesn't respond?
The civil has holds the right for that. He doesn't have to give us a response, but we still have to honor what the code says. That's all I can say. It's up to him. He doesn't have to say anything. That's his prerogative.
That's a time period?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, absolutely.
More specifically?
It's 14 days from that time.
From Sunday, from last, the 11th. It occurs, I think, on the 11th. Yeah, the 11th is the deadline, Sunday. He doesn't have to respond, but as we did earlier, when we extended, we requested that he resign, he did. Law and our proposals, we have no control over that. We can't do anything until that statutory component holds.
And what I would say to all of you press people is, go up to the city clerk's office. She will give you a brochure that explains the process, exactly how it's supposed to happen. So we don't have to continually have this question. Please just educate yourself. And I tell people, go to the website, the city clerk website. It's all outlined there. And I invite the public to also go to that website to understand exactly what the process is.
If we can, I will take one more question. I have another appointment, so please forgive me, but this gentleman here. Well, as Stan said, a lot of this is fast moving because the city attorney is issuing opinions. And so all we can do is, like a racehorse, put our blinders on and go forward until something legal occurs. So that's all we're waiting for. And as I say, I have another engagement, so I have to go. And I think we're all pretty much done here. We want to thank you for attending. We want to reach out all together and say, please help us recall Mayor Filner.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Gosh, I am really mad at you. You're talking that talk. Right. I'm hard here.
Yes. I still think that's like the biggest thing. I'm not going to criticize this around you.
It's not about us. It's definitely about citizens of San Diego, voters of San Diego. Let them vote Mayor Filner out. We will be giving out regulations these coming weeks. I'm working really hard at coordinating training and all that.
Just so you can give people an idea of how doable this is, you had talked about a formula. If so many people go out and get signatures, this can happen.
That's correct.
Okay, can you kind of go make that point?
We want to make sure we engage the public here in San Diego. This is about the citizens, and so citizens are going to step forward, and there are a variety of groups, a variety of churches, a variety of organizations that can step forward for this effort and gather signatures.
You're a math man, right? If so many people go out and get how many signatures?
Well, I'm not going to talk about how many signatures we're going to go out and get, but I will say this. We believe it's doable because we believe that the citizenry will step forward and say what they have to say.
How many volunteers do you potentially need?
We're not going to talk about volunteers. You guys will get.
One more time, what's the number, drop dead number that you need in order for this recall ballot to go forward?
The number is 102,000 signatures, but obviously we're going to get at a minimum 20 to 30%.
One last thing. Do you want? Hey, Snap. One last thing. Do you want Filner out? What's your talk about?
What I want is for the people of San Diego to speak. This is not about Stamp Corbin. It's about the citizenry of our great, wonderful city saying whether they want this mayor in or whether they want this mayor out.
But you have an opinion on the issue.
Of course I have an opinion on the issue. I'm just not going to share it. I have an opinion on the issue.
But you want the mayor out, right? Do you want the mayor out, sir?
That was a great answer.
Do that anymore. The grand jury can do it without any recall. You know that, right? You heard about that?
Yeah, I heard John KNX's one.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So tell me, regarding joint forces with Stamp, how can he be involved in a recall when he has no opinion on
I can't speak for him. All I know is he's devoted to the cause. The one thing he's adamant about that the people need to decide is that's the one thing that he's adamant about, and I respect him for that.
Your opinion about this recall? Talk to me about the reasons that you think Filner should be gone.
Well, they're here.
Well, no, I don't need your reason.
He's destroying, simplest, he's destroying the city, and he's harassing and abusing women, and we're standing up for those women, and we're standing up for the community. Someone has to. We're the last line of defense. We have to stop this insanity. We have to stop this insanity. This is destruction. This man is malicious, vindictive. He is destroying San Diego.
We have one more problem, potential problem down the road, which has to do with the city charter laws in line with state laws.
Yeah, what happened was when after the Supreme Court ruled in the Gray Davis recall, questions of constitutionality arose. Now, instead of fixing that, because that needed to be fixed in the municipal code, Bob Filner was cleaning bird poop up in La Jolla. And that's the kind of inattention that concerns us. He should have been paying attention. So because of the Supreme Court ruling, the council and the mayor never corrected that defect. And so I've done this before, and if there's any questions of law, I can't let that impede me or influence me or derail me. All I have to do is keep marching forward. Whatever happens is outside of my control. One thing I will tell you, without reservation, the courts and the law always stand behind the will of the people. What is paramount here, and I know this intimately, I've done it before, I've been through the challenges, the will of the people controls everything. When the people want to have a vote, that's their God-given prerogative. It's their choice, no one else's.
You understand if they were to change the city charter, Filner would have to sign that, and he's the target of your recall. Do you see the irony?
Well, that's the ultimate irony, but he does so many erratic things. We'd have to wait and see what the courts rule and the city attorney rules. I can't let that influence me. I'm a racehorse with blinders on, and I'm trying to win the race. I don't care about distractions or anything in the side. If I allowed those things to distract me, I couldn't focus. I need to focus, and we're focusing on it. Unless the court tells me I need to shut down or something occurs, I keep racing forward. I don't care about those issues. I've been through this 22 years ago. I faced far more challenges and legal problems, and we went right through it. They didn't get in our way, and they're not going to get in our way again.
August 18th,
Given
right?
the fact that your new partner in this effort is an LGBT leader, have you always been a supporter of LGBT equality?
Well, actually, if you were here last week, I reached out. I made the big press conference. We're looking for LGBT community support, and to me, it doesn't make a difference. He and whoever he's working with represents the citizens of San Diego. It doesn't matter. I reached out to people of color, to people of faith. You know, it doesn't matter.
So the LGBT media is not going to uncover past support of anti-equality issues on your part.
Well, and I want to be quite respectful here, but please indulge me on this.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to be insulted by the question. I don't want to be insulted by the question. I appreciate asking it, but
Is that a yes or a no?
Oh, no, I stand for equality at every single level.
Great, thank you.
I don't distinguish, and I can't look at a man or a woman and certainly decide, what influences them. No.
Do you feel like you have a fully vested partner in removing the mayor and Stamp Corbin?
A co-chair.
August 18th, right?
August 18th.
Thank you.
He has said that he is not going to share how he feels on Filner.
He's not even saying whether he'll sign
Do you
the
know?
petition.
Do you know?
No, and I don't know. I can't speak for him. That's all I can tell you. He has his position and motives. I want to say motives, his objectives, but I can't speak to those.
Do you feel comfortable not knowing his personal position on Filner?
it doesn't matter to me because we're unified in that we want to remove him and we want the will of the people. And that's all I can tell you. He can answer his questions. He's an independent man, as am I.
So before, when you said you were confident in you were speaking more about your confidence in the fact that he wants to move the process forward.
Oh, absolutely, with a common goal, the will of the people. The will of the people.
Is that all you're interested in? Is that all you're interested in, or are you interested in simply removing Filner?
Yeah, thank you.
I just want the man removed. I have no other objectives.
Stamp Corbin has not said that he wants that. Do you feel like you have a fully vested partner?
Yes, and I want to say co-chair, and I'm saying that.
Sorry, I understand. Yeah.
Thank you.
Why didn't you do that before the election, though?
How is the mechanics going to work between you three? Are you going to, certain people going to be in charge of certain things, or are you going to be?
Yeah, what we're trying to the back door.
Excuse me,
exactly. Fundraising. Back door, man. It's the truth, though. It's the truth, though, man. It's the truth.
So, in any event, what we're trying to do is determine what we can do best, because recognize he has an independent effort underway, and I've been working with Elisa, and now it's like a company merger, and we need to kind of figure out how to make that work. So, and as you all know, this is moving very fast. It's very difficult for me as a business owner to function with my own life when I have so many distractions. With it moving so fast, I'm just simply trying to react. I need to get to work. I need to get to work both with my business, but also organizing this. So it's like a company merger, and quite frankly, we need to focus our efforts on that, and that's why we held a press conference as opposed to having individual meetings.
Give us an idea. What's your budget? How much is it going to cost?
I really don't know.
But I think give us an idea, because people who may want to give you money may want to know.
It could go anywhere from $250,000 to $750,000, and I know that's a wide range. One of the problems that we have is, because of all the flurry of legal activity, we may have to harness some legal resources to assist us, because we don't know what's coming down. We don't know if someone's going to try to shut us down. And also, the function of cost is, from my perspective, is largely driven by needing paid signature gatherers. And so,
Stamp Corbin has said he will not use paid signature gatherers.
That's good for him. So,
but he's your co-chair now.
Well, but
he said in the conference that he would be willing to change his mind because
it
didn't involve.
Yeah. So here's the point. I've done this before. I'm the only person who has done it. As long as he is moving forward with me on a parallel or the same track, however he goes about it is his business. But he's not an impediment. He's co-chairing this with me, and other people can come forward. You can express your desire if you live in El Cajon or any other place, like I've mentioned, by sending us money. So there's a lot of ways. Other people have a vested interest in this. The way that they support it is manifested in the utility, if you will, to get there. Some of it's money.
So stakeholders don't necessarily have to be residents of San Diego.
What is that?
Stakeholders for you who are contributors don't have to be residents of San Diego?
Oh, no, because as I said, I spoke to a business person in El Cajon this morning, and he was lamenting that he has a client that pulled out of a project. He pulled out of a project entirely, and he said because of all the confusion in San Diego, recognize this, if you're Los Angeles or San Francisco or someplace far away, what you're getting is Jay Leno and Stephen Colbert at night, right? That's what your perception is. Smart business people who aren't here on the ground, they're thinking, why would I invest in San Diego? So he called me up to complain. He said, Mike, I have a client that's pulling the project out because he doesn't trust this. That's a business in El Cajon. And so he has a vested interest in that. Look around here, all these businesses, not everyone that owns a business in San Diego lives in San Diego. And so that, I think, is really important. Yeah, so you need to help us. If you live in National City and you have a business here, if you drive your car to work in San Diego from Encinitas and you hit a pothole, that's affecting you. We need to get the streets repaired. We need to get the city back to work.
Do you expect to get some big money?
I'm seeking out the big money, though. I absolutely am. But I'm doing the hardest I can. And I joke with people, I sleep 4 hours a night, so this is very consuming for me. And this press conference, as an example, is very consuming. And so all I can do is react with things that come down as fast as they're coming down. Every day we have another woman comes forward, another horrible story. We get another city attorney's opinion. I have to stop, evaluate the opinion, develop the next strategy, because all of this is a strategic effort. I have to keep, it's like playing football. So we're on the 40-yard line, and I get tackled, and then we get an interception. I have to keep driving our team down the field, and it's a dynamic process. It changes every day. It changes.
Michael, have you had any meetings with Carl DeMaio or with Nathan Fletcher?
No.
What is the fundraising challenge? Because typically in a recall, maybe the other party can fund it, or we have a group stepping forward. Is that a challenge here? Because why haven't groups stepped forward?
Well, again, it's moving very fast, and I'm reaching out to people. All I can do is put out the plea, but recognize when I have obligations to my family, to my business, and to my own health, I have all those challenges, and at the same time I'm reaching out to everybody. It's just moving so darn fast. I'm doing the best I can to take this, this is a speeding train and keep it on the track. I'm reaching out to everybody. Again, if you recall, I did that last week. I reached out to big business. I reached out to LGBT. I reached out to everybody. Anyone that walks in this town has to support the recall. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. Come forward. Help us. Let's get the city back on track. Every day Mayor Filner sits up there, the liability to the city is catastrophic in terms of the abuse to the women and all this harassment. He's killing us. He's destroying San Diego.
Can you tell us what is the importance of having joint forces? Like, what is
We're just going to recall Mayor Filner. That's it. Okay, I've got to run. I really got to...
This isn't a hate campaign against an aggressive mayor.
The only hate campaign that's going on in this town is Mayor Filner's towards the city. He hates it. I know. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
you Red Sox fan? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Marty Graham from Reuters.
Yeah. 1 second, please. I want to tell you why I wear this tie.
Yes.
A good friend of mine runs with the little boy who was killed in the marathon. And so this is a message to my friends back east. He lost Martin.
Right.
My friend runs with his dad. He was a little boy that killed, and this is my message of love to him.
Right. I'm from Boston.
Whereabouts?
Newton.
Dorchester. Thank you.
Can I get your contact information? I've been leaving messages and not getting callback.
All my phones are shut down. They're backed up with voicemails.
Go through me.
Oh yeah.
Okay. That's the way you get it.
Some of them have called. Some news agencies have called me 10 to 20 times in a row, leaving messages, and they shut down all my phones.
Yeah.
My office phone is shut down. My cell phone is shut down, and my home phone is shut down because media leaves long detailed messages. Everything shuts off.
The best thing is to email me and then I can call you right back. It's elisabrent@gmail.com.
No punctuation?
No, all one word.
Excellent.
I do apologize. I can't keep up with it.
Yeah, no, I know how that goes. A lot of people, like normal people, will just disconnect their phones.
Well, see, I have a business to run and I have family. I can't afford to be disconnected from my family. My family might call it an urgent call, like my wife
You
or
get a
my
different
son.
cell phone.
Well, so I'm sitting there and
Go to
I have
Walmart
to
and
spend.
get yourself a burn
Well,
phone.
I got to do that, but
Seriously.
with the demands that are going on here, they all know how to find it.
$50.
You like the way you're.
I got a drawer full of them. If I ever decide to become a felon, I'm fully.
What is that?